All right, what's up, yins guys? I'm gonna do a video here for you today. I was gonna show you pictures on the computer screen of this. I still think I'll make a video later, and maybe I think I will. Um, I happened upon a Facebook page called Guerrilla Feminism, and these people are such a joke. And the reason why I happen upon this page is because when you look at different news articles, different versions of the article, see if there's anything about it that's changed, you wind up at different places, like whether it's through Facebook or whatever. And I did a video on this article a video I recently did about this kid who was threatening the cheerleaders and any girl in school or whatever that he was going to shoot them if they wouldn't give him nude photos. That's like some funny shit. But anyway, one of the articles that I was leaving comments on, I mean, every people had it on their Facebooks. You know, I get to go through searches and different kind of people. And this page called Guerrilla Feminism, I didn't end up on their page until they were leaving comments on another page which was not feminism, you know, maybe through your friends or however the hell it happens. And you see their name pop up and you click their name and you find out that they have a Facebook site. And where the hell do they get these morons? Okay, I get straight to the point. One of the things that I was making this video about. Okay, these freaking morons, they see all the different things about guns, what people were doing, right? And they're all have all these people on there, ban the N.R.A., ban the N.R.A. like it's the answer. Like on their page, it's like, how the hell are they brainwashing all these people? I mean, you guys ever see the episodes of Gangland that you can watch on YouTube? I mean, you got a bunch of different people, like in L.A., there was like a couple stories like in Gangland where Los Angeles has these dead-end streets that are occupied by nothing but these gang members, and anybody else who gets lost and accidentally wanders in them streets, the car just gets all shot up, totally to pieces. Like there was these families, even with the kids in the car, kids and all, just whole barrage of bullets, just totally shred the car practically to pieces and all that stuff. But everybody wants to ban the N.R.A., and then when you're talking about, these people don't, just like Jim Quinn said, they don't want to hear it when you point out the truth. They keep repeating, ban the N.R.A., ban the N.R.A., ban the N.R.A. And I'm like, you dumbasses, you ban the N.R.A., like they're the problem. And there's a guy on there, even a guy on there with these people saying, yeah, that that kid is the kind of people that the N.R.A. has enabled and encouraged him, that literally saying that the N.R.A. is actually defending people like that. I'm like, why don't you ask them? I'm like, dude, I did a comment. I'm like, dude, you're so damn brainwashed. And when you say, look at all these other people that don't give a shit, that these gangs of people that don't give a shit about the N.R.A. either way. It's no skin off their ass if they get banned. It would make what they're doing easier. These people that run with the teeth, I mean, these people are literally armed to the teeth, right? And the N.R.A. don't sponsor them. They don't give a shit. They're, everything from running drugs and guns and everything across the borders. I mean, the mobs of all these different countries, the Chinese mob, Mexican mob, all these different people. The most dangerous people in the world. I mean, these people want to talk about masculinity and guns and the N.R.A. being the blame for everything. They're too cowardly to publicly talk about any of these the most dangerous mixtures of guns and masculinity. Excuse me, the most dangerous mixtures of guns and masculinity in the world, right? They don't even want to talk about, because you might bring up their names up, you might wind up dead, especially if you talk about it, say, on public television, politically. They see your face and then they'll decide to off you, you know what I mean? But Um, but anyway, every time you point that stuff out, this one, especially this woman, called herself Guerrilla Feminism. When you point out that people other than the N.R.A., like these crime gangs and all these people that have nothing to do with the N.R.A., and they don't care about the N.R.A. because they're going to get guns no matter what. You point that out, they got this card they play about the imagined boogeyman. Anything you point out to them that has all the guns in the world that the FBI and the police can't even handle. I mean, the ones they're arresting are basically small potatoes, a drop in a bucket compared to what's out there. I mean, you're seeing in the articles about the Mexican mob, they arrest a few people and then they're actually going after and killing police officers and all that. And there's all these other people and this is subject matter I wanted to do another video on and talk about, but that's a lot of shit to talk about. That there is a reason that a lot of people want a new world order because they think that they can form the army and the police and combat all these really high-profile gun-running, drug-running people that have their own armies. Okay, it's right obvious right now that our FBI and police, they can't handle them. How the hell are they going to have a one-world government when they can't even freaking handle a problem with the ISIS terrorists like they're doing now? I mean, when they swat a certain amount of them, like another group comes up. I mean, one problem like that, and it's not a little problem either. You know, in one country, they can't even solve that. They don't got the manpower to solve that. And how are they going to? I don't think it's even possible anyway, but there are people that want a new world order because of that. They think that maybe they can round up a big old army. Or what are they going to do? Do it in the same style that the leader of North Korea does, you know, makes people, you know, mandatory to be in the army and stuff like that to raise an army. You know, there are countries that do that. I mean, a lot of them are totalitarian countries too, and you get these, well, anyway, this sounds like it's off the subject, but a lot of these people that want to take guns off of actual people that legitimately own them, they think they can solve the problem by only the police and the army to have the guns and all that stuff. And basically, what do you think that is? They don't like guns, but they're willing to have people according to their way have all the guns, and then yet have the right to say that everybody else with guns is violent. But yet they want to take guns off of everybody else and recruit maybe police or whatever, or army, to keep the rest of us in line with guns. Sniff, sniff sounds like hypocrisy to me. But you point out all these other things, then people like Miss Guerrilla Feminism and other people pull the card. Yeah, you expose a problem, or you could even show them an article, right? And they still play the card that anything that you point out, even with proof, it's pointing a finger at a boogeyman. And this woman even said, had the nerve to say too, anybody with a mental problem, they have a higher likelihood of being victims than victimizers. And I'm like, is that so? I'm like, yes, I partially agree with you. There is people with a mental problem that there is the kind, right, that can be taken advantage of by other people and even their own family. I mean, I tell her, well, is this the kind of mental problem you're talking about? You think everybody with a mental problem is just like that, right? And yes, I agree that there are people with mental problems like that. You know, the kind that can be taken advantage of, but then there's the other kind that's more of the psychotic kind. But the one she's referring to, it's more like a mental handicap than a mental problem. I mean, they like to play with words and redefine the mental problem. And then when you say, well, yeah, there's some of them that can be taken advantage of, I agree with you, but then there's the psychotic mental problem. You're trying to agree with them, but if it ain't their way, they either yell over top of you when they're out in the world, or if you're talking on the internet, they say they have this clever thing that they're saying. They'll either redefine or play with the words, or else, just play that convenient card like it don't exist. You're pointing the finger at a boogeyman, even though you show them proof or whatever too. But freaking morons talk about banning the N.R.A. like the problem's going to magically disappear, when we have problems all over the world that, whether it's our FBI or the federal people or police or whatever you call it in any other countries, can't even stop the problem because, high-level gangs and monsters that have, guns and all that. But, it's easier to bash the N.R.A. because they're not going to come back and attack you, Basically, that's like cowardice, you know what I mean? But you never know. Maybe some of them, they don't want to talk about them because they supply their drugs too. How conveniently they're talking about some of the people on the street that are known to be lower level thugs. Talk about them like they're victims. They'll say, "Oh, don't you dare talk about them like that. They're victims. They're poor people with a problem, with a sickness or whatever." And then they do robberies, hold up people, or beat people down, or stab somebody to get money for drugs. Oh, they're just victims. Somebody else oppressed them. But then they'll talk about anybody else with entitlement. They'd like to twist it, you know what I'm saying? Just trying to figure these people out. Some of us about giving up. But if you don't talk about it, you just let people get away with it. And like they keep repetitively, whether it's through bribes, go into government and putting their people in government through bribes and all that stuff, trying to get them in special interest groups and getting money off of governments. A lot of them are just leeches looking for ways to get government grants to keep themselves from having to get a job, and then talk about anybody else that doesn't want to, quote, work. And that's another subject too. People are getting grants to purvey all this bullshit that they're teaching the rest of us. And they're getting government grants and money from the government for it. And then, plus they want the power to use government grants and funds to get what they want. And plus, maybe they'd love to put like somebody like you and me in jail, have us thrown in jail for bad-mouthing them too. Yeah, they too want to be the ones that stick their finger in their face and tell you what you better do or whatever too. Whether it's feminism, radical religions, radical atheism, like different types of atheism with different attitudes, radical feminism, so many different groups like that, so many groups even with legitimate things that they should stand up for and not have dictated to them. And then it always creates radical groups that are basically political parasites, taking money from free money from the government and everything else, then use free money from the government and then trying to get rules passed and all that, and literally trying to get rules to censor the rest of us and maybe shut us up or whatever too. It's like Miss Guerrilla Feminism would probably like to have me thrown in jail for not shutting up. She had the nerve to tell me to edit my comments. I'm like, fuck you, I ain't editing my comments. I said, I agree partially with you under these circumstances, but under these, no. Twisting words and shit. And, there's a part of feminism, too, that I'm seeing on YouTube, different YouTube videos about disagreeing with something trivial, disagreeing with a feminist over something even trivial is considered rape now. They want to call it rape if you actually verbally disagree with them about something. Whether you type a text comments disagreeing with a thing or bad-mouth. Bad-mouthing them is considered rape now in a lot of cases, But yeah, go look at up on YouTube. There are different kind of groups. But anyway, this is a little long-winded, but ban the N.R.A. Yeah, right. A lot of different rhetoric from people that just want people like you and me to shut up. You know what I mean? and then they're just too scared to talk about the actual problem, and they're uh, parroting the things that their peers say. Pathetically lonely losers that sit behind a computer and then just parrot the same crap from the people that they want to fit in with, to get friends. People do that in the world too, whether they're in a religion or any other kind of group. Their own way of hiding from reality or whatever too, you know. Yeah, best way to hide from reality too. Surround yourself with a bunch of people that are like you, and then just keep repeating the same crap. And then, then if you start by gathering a mini mob and then make it a larger group. Your goal being it to be a larger mob or whatever too. Yeah, surround yourself with a bunch of people that will agree with you or whatever, and get new people in. Like if you're already in numbers, have some new people in that need to have friends, and then they're agreeing with this stuff just to have friends or whatever. You're not even, and then you'll definitely get thrown out of the clique if you physically or psychologically disprove anything they're saying, because everything you say and even physically do could be a violation of their truth, so to speak. Just like a lot of things that were physically proven way back in ancient times too. If you any ability or idea or whatever that you physically proved, it was against the church or whatever, and it's not supposed to be. It's not supposed to happen. It's not supposed to be able to be done or proven. Yeah, it can be some severe punishment. Yeah. But yeah, you got that in this day in a form too. But